My name is Arya. Today is the most important day of my life as I get to marry the love of my life, Derek. We dated for 3 years and today we went to City Hall to register our marriage first thing in the morning. Then we headed straight to the wedding venue. I had been waiting for this day for so long. Luckily both my parents and Derek's parents are not the kind of people who interfere in our lives, and they supported our decision to get married from the beginning. My mother in particular said, "Do whatever you want, I support you." Derek is such a kind person who always puts me first. He helps me when I'm in trouble and supports me when I make mistakes. Derek has consistently stood by me, offering kindness in moments of need and unwavering strength when required. That's why I immediately said yes when he proposed. I had no reason to hesitate because I owe everything to him. We received blessings from both families, friends and colleagues at our wedding. We felt like the happiest couple in the world. I tasted the ultimate happiness and was filled with hope for our married life together. Every day since I married Derek has been really happy. We found an apartment not far from our parents' homes and I'm grateful that we have a good relationship with our in-laws, especially my mother-in-law who always cared about me. I grew to love her and enjoyed spending time with her, but I never thought it would come to this. A few months after marrying Derek, I finished my part-time job and returned home to prepare dinner. Just as it was almost ready, Derek came home at the perfect time. "Welcome home, Derek. How was your day?" I greeted him. Something seemed off about Derek. Normally he would loudly say "I'm home," but today he didn't. I leaned in closer and saw his face was pale with sunken eyes. "Wait, something's wrong. Are you feeling okay?" Worried, I asked. Derek slowly opened his mouth and spoke in a small voice. "My mom, she fell down the stairs. My dad just called." Suddenly it felt like time stood still. "Hey, your mother?" I asked again in horror. According to what Derek told me, his mother slipped on the stairs at their house and fell. She was conscious but had lost all sensation in her right leg. "How did that happen?" I inquired. The fact that his lively and energetic mother had become unable to walk was shocking. I was devastated. Of course Derek had always assumed it wouldn't easily affect him either, but I loved his mother just as much as he did. I cherished her as if she were my own mother. That's why it hit me so hard. I paused in the middle of preparing dinner and talked to Derek. "Your father doesn't seem to be in great shape either. I'm worried about your mother. Is she okay?" I asked him gently. "It's hard to say right now, but my brother and his wife also live with my parents," Derek replied. Derek has an older brother named Logan, is married to a woman named Tara, and they live together with Derek's parents. But I couldn't imagine Tara taking care of my mother-in-law. I know it's not right to think like this, but I didn't get along well with Tara. The first time I visited Derek's parents' house I began to feel that way. We were still engaged, not yet married. His parents and his brother Logan welcomed me warmly and I had a really good time, but during our lively conversations Tara didn't utter a single word. When I excused myself to use the restroom, Tara said, "Let me show you the way," and led me there. She seemed to be just a quiet person, but then she suddenly said, "So how does it feel to be showered with attention, enjoying yourself?" I was taken aback. I didn't know how to respond. "Well, let me make it clear, nobody here is welcoming you. They're all just putting on a show, so don't forget to keep that in mind, okay?" she added. With that she went back to the living room where everyone else was. I stood there dumbfounded. On the way home I discussed the incident with Derek, who seemed to agree. "Yet I've heard some things about my brother's wife. She is just too straightforward in her personality and blunt. She always wants to compare herself to others," he said. As I listened to his words I strangely found myself understanding. At the same time I became convinced that she wasn't someone I could get along with. Thinking back on those old memories I decided to go to Derek's parents' house with him. His father had said, "I want to have a proper conversation with everyone once," so we headed to his parents' house on our day off. When we arrived Derek's mother was still in the hospital, so his father greeted us as we walked towards the living room. Tara, as expected, glared at me. Feeling awkward I instinctively avoided her gaze. "Please have a seat," his father said. Derek and I took our seats. "Today is about none other than your mother," he began, explaining the current state of Derek's mother. "She is conscious and able to have normal conversations and her life is not in immediate danger. However, she still has no feeling in her right leg and there is a possibility she might end up bedridden," he explained. As I listened To the conversation tears welled up. I knew it, but to see my mother-in-law who was so lively before end up like this, would we no longer be able to go out together? Such thought weighed heavily on my chest. Looking around, Derek and Logan were also visibly shocked, their heads hanging low. However, amidst them all, Leanie was the only one looking at her smartphone, seemingly oblivious to her father-in-law's words. Is she not be able to come back home anymore? I asked, breaking the silence. Derek's father turned toward me and said, no, it seems the hospital policy doesn't allow them to treat bedridden patients at home. My wife is conscious, and besides her right leg there aren't any other major issues. I'll likely be home caring for her, so she'll receive home care, he concluded. As I looked down, Derek's father encouraged me with his words, well, Arya, if they say she'll be bedridden for the rest of her life, it doesn't seem like it will be the case. He tried to cheer me up. Is that so? I asked with hope in my voice. According to the doctor, it seems she had a bone injury. They say that with good rehabilitation there is a good chance she'll improve over time, he uttered with a gentle smile. I see, I replied, feeling tears build up and escape from my eyes. Meanwhile, Derek and Logan were discussing the details of their mother's condition with their father. As I glanced on all round, I felt a gaze and noticed Tara glaring at me once again. Hypocrite, Tara muttered those words quietly, but they were audible enough for me to hear. Feeling uneasy, I looked double once more. Then Derek's father brought up the conversation again. Okay, I'll take care of my wife, but if anything happens I want everyone to cooperate, he said. Of course, Derek replied. Absolutely, I added. As Derek and I replied, Leilani interjected with a loud voice. Everyone's gaze natural shifted towards Tara. I've been thinking, she began, and looking at me added, Arya, let's take care of your mother-in-law together. She suddenly brought up such a thing. Hey, I said. What, you don't like it? She questioned. After my puzzled reaction to her unexpected suggestion, I continued to explain. No, it's not that I don't like it. It's true that our father-in-law's back isn't in great shape, so it would be better if we— I didn't say enough then. It settled. Tara interrupted me. It would be difficult to come here every day, so why not live together at this point, she suggested. I said. Tara kept pushing the conversation forward without considering my feelings, and I started to panic. Logan, who had been listening, said, hey, isn't that too sudden? It's troublesome to be told all of a sudden, right? But Tara replied, but caregiving is a 24-hour job, right? It would be tough to come here every day, don't you agree? She looked at me as she said that. Certainly living together will be easier, I agreed. As I said that, my husband uttered, it's up to Arya to decide. I'll support and help in any way. Shall we live together? And so as Tara and insisted, we ended up living together at my in-laws' place. Moving day. Since Derek was at work, I was supposed to go to my in-laws' house first. It seemed that my father-in-law had gone to pick up my mother-in-law, so the one who greeted me was Tara. Oh, you're here? Saying that, Tara didn't change her expression to such. Tara, I said, nice to meet you. I'm starting today. To which she replied quickly, put down your belongings and clean up my mother-in-law's room. You'll take care of everything. I was surprised by her words. Tara, everything? I thought caregiving would be on a rotating basis between you and me, I replied. You are so annoying. You are at the bottom of the hierarchy, so shut up and do as you are told, she stated. Not used to this kind of situation, I quickly apologized. I'm sorry. Geez, my sister-in-law, Tara uttered, and she returned to the living room, starting to watch TV and drink tea by herself. I hurriedly unpacked my belongings as instructed and cleaned up my mother-in-law's room. At that moment the doorbell rang, and it was my father-in-law and mother-in-law returning home. Welcome back, mother-in-law, I said. Then Tara pushed me aside. Actually, I was in the middle of cleaning my mother-in-law's room, she stated. A few days passed and I needed to stop by the bank. Wait a minute, Tara called out to me from behind. Where are you going? She continued. I'm going to the bank to deposit some money, I responded. What about taking care of your mother-in-law? Do it properly, she asked me. But it's your turn today, right? I'm always changing my schedule for you and I don't even have time to go outside. I tried to object. I don't know about that, just do it quickly. I'm the one going out now, Leilani said as she grabbed her bag and left. Unfortunately, my father-in-law also had a community gathering today and wouldn't be back until evening. I couldn't just leave my mother-in-law alone, so I gave up on going to the bank and stayed at home. From then on, Tara never took care of the situation and I was burner every day. Feeling fed up, I decided to Consult my father-in-law. It seemed that my father-in-law had spoken to Tara because she came to me and apologized under his influence. I'm sorry Arya, I've been relying on you too much, she said while shedding tears. Seeing her in a state I couldn't imagine from her usual self, I felt a little scared but hoped this would be an opportunity for her to change. However, a few days later while I was cleaning the house, Tara confronted me. You snitched on me and now I got scolded by your father-in-law. It's all your fault. Will you apologize? She demanded. Seeing that Tara didn't reflect on her actions at all made me angry. Stop placing the blame on others, I firmly said, and added, I won't apologize. I made it clear. Tara momentarily looked surprised at my definite attitude but quickly regained her composure and said, Arya, you are really annoying, just leave already. Saying that, Tara burst into laughter. At that moment I felt something inside of me go cold. Understood, I'll gladly leave, I said as I walked past her, intended to my room, packed my things and left my in-laws' house. While I was getting ready, Tara made a lot of noise but I ignored it all. When leaving my in-laws' house it seemed like she was shouting horrible things but I didn't respond and just walked out. After a while I received a call from my husband. Apparently he was worried because I wasn't home, so he decided to call. When he asked Tara about my whereabouts she left him hanging, that's all she said, so I told him everything. As a result, Tara's true nature was exposed and both my father-in-law and Logan became furious with her. Logan asked her to apologize to me but Tara replied, why should I apologize? Hearing this, my father-in-law, who was listening, got angry and said, Arya has been providing most of the care expenses for her mother. I didn't notice and I was at fault, but I never thought Tara could be so despicable. He expressed his anger. Yes, even though it was just a small amount, I had been giving money to my mother-in-law every month hoping it would help her. I hadn't even told Logan about this, so he was quite surprised. In the end Logan had enough and said, we are getting a divorce, get out of here. As a result, Logan kicked Tara out of the house. I don't know where Tara went after that. I received a request from my mother-in-law to come back, so I decided to return to my in-laws' house even though Tara was no longer there, and the caregiving was by no means easy. My mother-in-law's condition improved day by day and now she can even walk with the help of a cane. B still seems to feel inferior to me. If there is anything troubling you, please let me know, he said. He actively helps with household chores as well. My husband Derek also supports me more than ever, so living at my in-laws' house is no longer a burden at all. I feel no sympathy for Tara, it's her own doing and she deserves it. I'll make sure not to end up like her. With that in my mind, I live my life every day